Monday, November 4th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich, good morning. 9:47 California time and the beginning of a new week. We start out with stock market indexes and go to futures markets and sometimes other things like seasonality, cycles, chart formations, other indicators, you name it, psychology of trading. We've got oversold conditions since last Thursday in the E-mini. So our code turns the price action yellow. And we are starting to bounce off of our first, decent, actually pretty good layer of support. And that was bouncing off of it on Thursday and Friday, closing a little higher, not much. And today we're a little lower, but the low today is even more accurately smack dab on 57.24. And that was the lowest low during the October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7th, and 8th time frame. At that low point, 57.24, or maybe just a little bit higher during those 6 days. So support bouncing off of it a little at the moment. Is it going to hold? Nah. We're going to drop below that low, below today's lows, and I think we're going to do it today, but certainly next couple of days. I expect, my opinion, no guarantee, obviously, and drop off to the next layer, a lower level of support. And that's going to be, in a general sense, a little more difficult to pin down. Probably 55, high 80s, and even lower for some other levels of support. But let's not worry about that right now because we need to break and close below today's low in order to get that next significant leg down. Now, the 1 minute chart for the 5 minute chart, that is for the E-mini, shows a little stab to the downside this morning to get to 57.24 exactly. And we're still bouncing off of that down very little, almost unchanged. Now, what I don't want is for this market to close above the high of Friday. Then you'll have a bullish engulfing. And I don't expect any kind of a significant rally, although I can allow a little bit of it, probably at the very most 58.40, maybe 58.50, and then down. So I don't even think it's going to get there. Frankly, I don't think it's going to get above 58.03. So I'm obviously bearish. We did not get our October lows. They're going to come in November instead. That was a bummer. Quite optimistic about it. Just look what happened last year and the year before, and go back to several Octobers during the last 30 years. You'll see some whopping, fantastic bottoms in October. Okay, so still bouncing a little. I'm bearish, looking for lower levels, cross the indexes. Next, Spider SPY did make a minor new low, like the E-mini, as you would expect. Bouncing a little at the moment, still a little lower on the day. Everything else is basically the same, except the Spider has a gap to close, and that allows me to tell you that we might be able to get up to 579, give or take a little, which is something I'm not really optimistic about, but I can't rule it out because gaps are almost always closed. They're kind of like a black hole in space. They tend to suck the price action back into the gap. That's my little old saying I've been using for decades. And it works very, very often. So that's the outside chance. Lower lows, yes. Soon, yes. Next support area for the SPY, 565. Below that, pretty damn good support. 540-ish, 535 to 540. That's where I'm really looking for the bottom to occur. And I think this month. And then we'll start talking about the Santa Claus rally. Buying just before Christmas. I have exacting details down to the 5 minute mark. And which days and when and where and why. And there's 3 entry trades. Then we get out in the first part of January. That has a really great profitable track record. Not probably as good as the October lows, but very good, worthwhile. learning about if you don't know about the Santa Claus rally. So the Spider 5-minute chart, same thing. Rally allowed to close the gap, of course, and then back down. Next, looking at the QQQ, not quite a lower low than last week's lows, and it's still a little lower on the day. Really don't want that bullish engulfing. Let's stick around here, go down some by the end of the day. And I am looking for the Qs to get down to 479 easily, probably a little below 475. And if that doesn't hold, then we have a chance really of going down to 450. Next chart, QQQ, 5-minute. Not breaking support very convincingly yet. But again, I think it's going to do it before the end of today or the next couple of days, real soon. NASDAQ futures also finding support at the lows of Friday and last Thursday, bouncing off of it a little bit. I could expect maybe a little bit more. Don't really want it. Don't really think it's going to happen. I'm looking for new lows and a move down to and below 19,832. Frankly, I think it's going to come down to 18,730. Next 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ NQ. Bouncing like the other indexes a bit. Still lower on the day. Don't see anything here that's going to be rip-roaringly bullish or anything like that at all. And I think it's going to turn down to new lows like I just said. The YM has made a new low. It's popped back a little bit, still 187 lower. I think it's going to have, like the other indexes, very shortly, if not today, a new low close, and maybe very well below all previous lows also. Looking for lower levels. YM 5-minute chart. Just a rally and a bear swing here. I don't want to get overly bearish. I don't think this break is going to amount to a huge move down. Certainly worthwhile trying to catch the short side of it if possible. But now we're already well underway and we didn't get any sell signals on the top, which is a bummer. But at least I'm on the right side of it, on the call side at the moment, meaning I called the bearish move. It didn't happen in October, though. Doggone it. Why? In the Russell daily, I think it could get all the way back down to these other lows, big support, maybe even a bit lower. So I'm looking for something at around 2100. Russell, 5-minute, bounce, no reversal, resistance above the market. I think it's going to roll over and start to head south again. Now, look at bonds. Bonds are up 34. Nice. On Friday, it made a new low for the trend down and almost closed below previous lows. I keep telling you that closing below all previous lows for a significant amount of time, several weeks, months, and more, is really pretty bearish. But when it gets there, makes the new lows for a significant amount of time, and doesn't close below the previous lows, you oftentimes get exactly this. And it could lead to a lot more strength, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I think that this low on Friday could be very profound, intermediate to longer term, months from now. I'm not quite sure of that. I got down into October where I wanted to get to price-wise. It got lower than I wanted, but it's still in this yellow rectangle, square. And now just in the bottom right-hand corner, starting to move up a little, but let's see some more upside strength. I'd like to see a close at 118. I'll call it 119 plus. It's real quick here. And I'll be a lot more confident that it's going to start to rally up a lot more. But I think we could be turning around. I love these outside down days and a down move and oversold conditions. I nickname them, for lack of a better name, bass backwards, because normally they look bullish. Bearish engulfing, new low close, new low for the trend. But the fact that they were in oversold condition changes everything. Next, same things what we had on Friday for the 10-year notes, and they're up 21 this morning. Not quite as convincing at the moment as the bonds look, but we could be starting something here. We had a small day trade loss, unfortunately, on Friday in the bonds. Now, but we also are still short. Oh my God, we're still short from when? September 17th. ER3 sold the rally on September 18th, Monday, and we are still looking at a green, sorry, that's bad, green trade line all the way to the current quote. We sold it short, give or take a few ticks, at 115.14. It's 10, 11, 5,000. Looking great. I know it's taken a month and a half, but that's how you make the big bucks. Next. Oh, yeah. And our stop is probably way too high here. Yeah, I probably should lower this stop. I'll probably do that for tomorrow. Not too much point in doing it right now. I'm not too concerned about it right now. Okay, crude oil, minor new high, didn't get oversold, kind of between a rock and a hard spot here. Not sure what it's going to do, although I think it's going to rally a little bit more. Not very confident about that, so I'm going to kind of pass neutral to a little bit friendly on it at the moment, just for a few days. Next. Same kind of comment for heating oil, but watch natural gas here in a minute. Going to have a whopper. So we have a minor new high for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and it's in resistance, but not overbought. Could rally up a little bit more. Waiting for a new signal. The last one was good, real good, bearish engulfing. Lasted a couple of weeks, made some good money. Waiting for a signal on heating oil, but natural gas has a whopper of a buy signal in progress right now today. Big green bullish engulfing and oversold this morning. So it's my favorite combination. Oversold bullish engulfing. Bingo. ER buy signal. Explanation point. Let's see how this one works. Could be great. The last sell signal was great. We had some good buy signals back here. Caught the bottom of the move on that one, August 28th. This looks like it could be a very, very good signal. Just my opinion. Obviously not an official quote unquote trade recommendation. That would not be a good idea, right? CFTC and NFA. Next, the gold market down slightly, minor new lows, down a little on the day, not a heck of a lot, but it got overbought and almost barely missing a bearish engulfing red signal because the high of the day on October 31st, Thursday, last week wasn't quite high enough. Getting above the previous day's high would have done the trick. It was short by a couple of ticks and just didn't make it. Looking for lower levels, probably down to the 2,400, 2,700 area. And I can't rule out something even lower like 2,620. Next, silver. Overbought stopped the rally. Almost a bearish engulfing also, but it was several days ago, October 23. Minor new low for the move, but at a little bit of support, not the greatest support area, but not too bad. And bouncing off of it close to it Thursday, more accurately Friday, and today accurately. But we're still down a little. It's really not rallying. So I'm looking for lower levels, probably down to the ballpark of, 30.8 and maybe even 27.6. Next chart, sell signal on the top of the market. I showed it to you the day it was happening in platinum. We have another new low for the move down today and currently trading below all previous lows. And the green trade line is right there. I'll spread it out a little bit so you can see a little bit more accurately. And we're short from about 1041.60. And we're currently trading at 991.50. Good. Our stop is currently at 1008.70. Now, just because the wick touched the yellow dot does not mean the stop was there at the time it happened. Remember, this is all dynamic, and my stop may move innumerable times in a single day, maybe over 100, because it's all automated. Maybe it won't move at all in a single day. It depends upon the way the market moves. So all I can say is it did not get stopped out. That happened earlier. The stop was at higher levels, and then it started to drop down to where it is now, probably for two reasons. We were making new lows for the trend, and the RSI is making new lows since the entry of the short sale trade. Next, we've got copper. It still could be stuck, although I'm noticing it's popping out a little bit above the resistance area. So we might be breaking out to the upside. Now, I have a stop at 4.46-ish, and we are still short from an ER3 rally, which is almost a high on that day, October 2nd. Price being 4.64 something, and we're trading at 4.42. It's going to be a great trade. That's our stop at 4.46. So we'll see if we get out today or in the next couple of days. Whatever. It's been good. It is good. I think it's breaking out to the upside. Why don't I lower my stop? Because I let my disciplines rule. Don't mess around with a strategy that has a historically good track record. Unless you really, really, really think you're going to change some standard parameter that you're going to leave alone as hopefully being better than the old one for a long time. In other words, back testing and optimizing, that kind of thing occasionally. No change here. Soybeans, oil, meal, and watch what happens with meal here in a few minutes. Beans, a little higher, couple pennies. Doji inside range, no higher, no lower than Friday. Working its way up a little bit. Do we have a minor double bottom? Well, maybe. We got to close above 1018, 1017, 16, something like that. The high period on October 24th. And if that's true, if that happens, then the upside objective is going to be something like, I don't know, about 1055 to 60. That's nice, but not great. But the key here is closing above 1080. And then you're going to have what looks like the possible broader double bottom formation over a 2.5-month period. And then you will be in the process of breaking a major bear trend line, overcoming a significant number of days, weeks, and a few months worth of highs. And the upside objective on that breakout above 1080 all of a sudden becomes something like, I don't know, 1190, 1180-ish, maybe even a little higher. Okay, I'll draw the objective in. So the average between the two lows is right about there, and your measuring stick goes up to right about there, and it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Start down here. Yeah, okay, I know. I've got snap to the highs and lows turned on, so forget it. I'll do it later. Next chart. Bearish engulfing big time. Soybean oil. Higher high in a resistance area, overbought condition today. RSI did get up to 70. RSI high to 74.50. No, that was yesterday. Sorry. 75.47. So turning the bar yellow at first. Then as we got down below Friday's lows, turning red, official sell signal, outside down day in overbought condition. Bingo. Would like to sell short in the next 3 days at 45.80-ish for ER3 entry. ER1 is short about where we are, just a little bit lower. So we have a trade with a very small loss in progress at the moment, looking for a move down, probably to 42.60, and maybe to make that second shoulder. I did not like the fact that we might have a shoulder here, and I might have one here. This whole thing would be the head of the formation. That could be the first shoulder, inside shoulder correlating with June, October. Maybe in November, December, we're going to have another low around the same levels, 41, 40, 50. And this is the beginning of the move down for that last shoulder. That would throw my neckline up to here. If that's true, making the whole formation better, more bullish, longer term, etc. Right now, this single shoulder concept is working okay. Break out Thursday last week. Friday follow through, resistance stopped. Now a bearish engulfing, but if it holds above the neckline for the single shoulder pattern and starts to move its way back up, well, we may not, probably won't get that second shoulder in the next month or so. Something very interesting to watch. This is acting a little bit like the bond and the 10-year note combination. Next, meal oversold, probably starting to rally in a support area. Unfortunately, no engulfing, so I'm not getting a green buy signal here, but it came sort of close. Up on the day, okay, 4.5. But we need to get above that previous bull trend line that now is going to be resistance, and it is stopping this rally today so far. I want to close above today's highs, ASAP. Next, corn. Got the bottom of the break, October 17th. We're still long. Nope, sorry about that. We're still short from this sell signal back on October 8th. One of the shorts, an ER1 overnight, took a profit on the bottom day, October 17th, where we got a brand new buy signal. Now, just because we got a buy signal does not mean we get out of a short if we're short. This did get stopped out, and that's how we get out, always on our trailing stop, not because of a new signal. So we're flat. New buy signals, short-term trades made a little money on the way up. The downside retracement last week. Now we're starting to work our way up. We never got out of our short. That's been our stop forever. Probably now should drop it down some, but I've lost by far and away most of my profit. Don't like that at all. I should have taken care of this a long time ago. So I'll probably do it for tomorrow. Next, wheat. Not too much to grab a handle on here. October 28th and 29th, bottom, but not oversold. Came pretty close. Don't really have anything that I'd love. We did buy the bottom of the market back in August. That's still the low day by a long shot. That's great. If I had slowed down my ER1 overnight stop, I could still be in this trade, but I don't like doing that. If I have a profit, I like to lock in the profit real quick. That's my habit. That's my technique in general. Occasionally, I'll see situations where I want to slow it down. Next, cattle. Bearish engulfing at the top in a resistance area, and doggone it, we didn't quite get overbought. Otherwise, that'd be red. So it came very close. But because the RSI wasn't quite high enough, even though it was a bearish engulfing, it didn't turn red. You have to have both. We had bottom, both oversold, bullish engulfing, got the bottom of the market there. Got a very great buy sell signal a long time ago, September 23. A few signals in between. Here's our Miss Piggy. Down good today, overbought for several days. Got a gap to close down here, so maybe it's heading toward the gap closure. Starting to touch a little support. I am looking for it to dip into the support area, close the gap, and maybe sink a little bit more. Obviously, for several days, it's made new highs for quite a while. And I'm not sure why I have that line up there. That does not look particularly important. Delete that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing on a longer-term bullish basis. But right now, it's overbought. And it should have a dip to close the gap. And maybe a little lower after that, then up again. E-mini, down 1.4 S&P number, or 14 E-mini number. About where it opened. Starting to slip here on the 5-minute chart. Good. Looking for those new lows. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.